claims people's ability and will to fight. Once built and in full operation, Sherman says of the railroad, the fate of the buffalo and Indian was settled for all time. Now the wild game is gone, the whites too numerous and powerful. The Indian question has become one of sentiment and charity, but not of war. Good old American know-how. Do-da, do-da, day. Dash, dot, dot, dash, 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 dot, dot. Done. Accomplished. Fini. The upgrading from overland trails to the iron road of overland rails. When the final coffin nail like spike, strike, ring, and the twains east and west, coupled at Utah's promontory summit, the expulsed were swept in the clickety-ticking, clackety-tacking locomotion onrush of the future, flipping like Muirbridge flashcards till who they were and all they'd been nearly vanished in the accelerating blur before their own eyes, and the ocean-to-ocean passage shrank from 4 months to 1 week, and whites swarmed like locusts and did cover the face of the divide, and did consume and did smite. Yes, Sherman, wrong as he was right. Note, upon retiring, Sherman, who had a reputation as a fancy step dancer, danced midnights away at cotillions and balls. He also attended theater and was a colorful public speaker. Doodah. That's the end of chapter 10. Into chapter 11 as I melt away. Jim Crow crosses over from entertainment to law. The parallel rise of Klan whiteface in whiteface, in blackface enslaved spirituals. Crosscut. After quick glance back to 1868 and the black codes and Jim Crow laws, making a mockery of the 14th Amendment's protection of property rights for the freed slaves, see 1877. Slow pan down to Dixie. See the last federal troops, doodah, marching home. Hoorah, hoorah. See home rule, aka states' rights, right, restored. See the South reinvented. See the Ku Klux Klan, that noxious blossom of bitter fruit, nurtured in bloodied soil and reaped from the weedy vineyard of defeat. What evil lurks, the shadowy Klansman knows. See defenders of white Protestant Christian American ride, clippity-clop. See costumed terrorists, their white faces in whiteface, disguised as the ghosts of carpetbaggers, and their kind shall be disguised as the ghosts of Confederate dead, intending that coons, carpetbaggers, and their kind shall be horribly afraid of thee, and shall bow themselves down and tremble and be troubled by their presence, and shall quake at thy word and theatrical fare, and be kept in our place. And oh yes, there is popular agreement to the end of their means, though some quiet quibbling over their methodology. Pan back a moment. See the bigger picture. See the South as Northern money sees it, having seen to it. See the ripening for raw industrialization, cheap labor, artisan and otherwise, roving the streets like Bo Peep's sheep. Give them another decade. See how they sort themselves out. Then we'll make our move, Big Money says. See the South being redeemed, resurrected in its own Currier and Ives image. See the molten impressions of the disenfranchised being cast in the South's new fiery foundries of affliction. See the mess of new gollywogs, the complete line of buffoon coons, mammies, aunties, uncles, boys, and assorted spooks, sambos, and pickaninnies, mass-produced for the psychic knick-knack and notion shells of new common man American consumers. See an industry of degradation lift every voice and clang, Coons is buffoons. See the South's old regime bobbing like lifebuoys on the sea of tranquility. See it rising like whitecaps cresting on a wave of legislative activity. See the confederacy of black codes being enacted to abide and bow the law of mercy. See the new confederacy turn the tide against the shadowy skies of change. See the return of the promised land of tradition and its conditions and glamour of the good old days. See the leopard retain his spots. See the wolf regain his voice. See the good old boys, the Southern Democrats, rule. See these postulates of exclusion take shape, be nailed to the door, rat-a-tat-tat like Martin Luther's theses, whites only. See the capitalist spoils of war, the seventh sons, the buffoon coons, the traditional fodder, fertilizer, and fuel of Dixie's doings being nailed in their place. Rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat. See that positioning becoming de rigueur for the psychic and commercial health of the dear old Southland, rat-a-tat-tat. See the dark cloud of equity departing. Rat-a-tat-tat. See the Confederate flag flapping in the bright blue. See the final chapter close. Rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat. On that unspeakable tragedy, see the South restored. Lord of mercy. Thank you very much.
Questions, comments?
There's a man here that I haven't seen in
A few years.
a few years. We worked together, I guess we were students together.
Yeah, we went to school together first.
And then worked together in here at Wayne School, and other folks too. Apologize for the stumbles. Whatever. There's family back there in the back. Damn. Questions, comments, and then I'll just sit down and what do you?
I don't really know how to ask this question,
I won't know how to answer it, so
but as I listen to this amazing ritual, I'm struck by the amount of historical detail, and I'm just wondering about your process in gathering and collecting. Is this years? Is this concerted effort? Is it notes scattered wherever?
Yeah, it was my summer project for at least 4 years. You know, I don't teach in the summer, and it was an unfunded kind of pursuit of stuff. And the technique, as I have said, in terms of the research was as improvisational as I wanted the work itself to be. But once you get into it and just kind of follow stuff, it's all there. And I appreciate, you're saying that it is historically accurate. I have a play called Robert Johnson Treat the Devil. And one of the things that Robert Johnson says to the devil is, tell the truth and shame the devil. And that's what I want to do in the piece. So nothing is made up. Again, almost probably 90-some-odd% of the quotes are actual quotes from actual historical figures. And I do create some people, some kind of apocryphal characters. But it was a joy to do the research. And to see that there is this kind of thread that runs through, in my mind anyway, thematic kind of thread that just fell into place in terms of the piece that I was doing. And I'm not sure if that answers your question at all, but it speaks a little to the process. Yep. Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to know if, comparing and contrasting the end of Reconstruction, I have found that I feel like we're kind of in the same space now, of a time of great expansiveness and of